Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the CatEye AirGPS wireless cycling computer. The new CatEye AirGPS is an affordable and easy to use cycling computer with GPS that eliminates the needs for any sensors or wires. The AirGPS is targeted toward recreational cyclists or cyclists just looking for simple data metrics with an easy to use interface. Packaging wise, you can see very simple. You have a nice plastic screen here that lets you actually see the GPS computer. This little printed overlays on top of it. You have the CatEye branding here with the white and black colors, and then all the specs and functionality printed on the back. We'll go ahead and open this up and go over the specs. Retail price on this is $79.95. They also have a bundle variation that includes the cadence sensor. That's what we actually have here. That is $119.95. Again, this is a GPS cycling computer, so it can automatically determine your speed and location without the need for any additional sensors or cell phone attachment. It has a 1.9-inch screen with backlighting, so you can use it during the day or the night. You have 10-hour runtime with an internal lithium-ion battery that can be recharged via a micro USB port. And you also have a 12-function display with this 3-row layout that's very simple and easy to use. You can connect this computer with the CatEye cycling app, and that lets you upload the data, push it over to Strava or other third-party platforms to review your data. In terms of what comes with it, you can see quite a few things. We have the bundle again. So here's the cycling computer with this little screen overlay that shows the numbers on top. We have the mount here. You can see if we untangle this. Simple ratchet style mount that goes over your handlebar and has the CatEye tab style mount. You have a micro USB charging cable, which is a little unfortunate to see. It would be nice to see USB Type-C, which is a lot more common and modern these days. You have the instruction manual here that helps you get up and running really quickly. This one has the cadence sensor as well. So this goes on your crank, and then with a little battery on the inside, it'll just spin and update the cadence on the computer. So you have a couple zip ties for mounting it, as well as the C032 battery that you can put inside it. You also have the warranty card information here, and that's about it. Now let's take a look at the weight of the CatEye AirGPS. So the computer by itself comes in at 37 grams. The cadence sensor is one of the shorter rubber connectors is only 10. And then the mount with the little rubber back in it pre-attached, that comes in at 7. CatEye's developed the AirGPS cycling computer to be compact and easy to use. The computer is a traditional standalone design with a built-in GPS chip that lets it determine distance and speed automatically without the need for an app to be connected or a speed sensor. You can connect other sensors if you want. You can add a heart rate monitor, cadence, and then speed sensor for higher accuracy. So if you have a lot of GPS cutouts, if you're riding through tunnels and large buildings, you can use the speed sensor as well. This does not support rear radars or power meters, which is what you'd expect at this price point and for the simplicity. Visually, the computer has a thin rectangular design. You can see a glossy screen with a 1.9-inch non-touchscreen design. You have a glossy upper portion and then the matte bottom portion. It's all plastic, so pretty thin and light. Basic branding, you have CatEye on the top, and then you have the CatEye on the front and this ghosted on design. So you can see you barely see it unless you actually have it at the right angle. On the bottom, you have the CatEye mount. So standard tab design. CatEye's been around for so long that you can find most adapters for most out front mounts as well. And they also offer an out front mount and other handlebar mounts, so you don't have to just use the one included. The one that included is a simple ratcheting design, so you just rotate this knob, now pull the ratchet out. You can also rotate this, so you can see I have this set up for a stem setup, but you can also pull this out, rotate it 90 degrees, and then you can put this on your handlebar. What's cool about this design though is once it's installed, you have the ClickTec technology, so there's actually a button in the middle of this, and when I push down here, it'll actually push down on the button. So again, if I take it off the mount, the button is there. So a pretty cool setup, and lets you actually just press anywhere on the bottom. The user interface is very simple, so long hold to turn this on or off. And you can see there's this blue splitter down the center of the screen that separates the top and bottom portion. If I hold the button on the back, it turns it on. There's really no configuration on the device, you just turn it on. And then you can see if I press the bottom one, so when it's not installed, you actually have to press it. I can cycle between 7 different display modes. It'll show you min, max, average speed, and then different distances. Top is always speed, the middle is always time, and the bottom is what switches. If you have a cadence or heart rate monitor, it'll actually show those on the bottom. You really have to use the phone app to configure this, so if you want to connect sensors, you do that. And if you want to change the units, you have to use the app. So very simple, it automatically saves the recording when you're done. I can also hold that bottom button down, and a long press will do a pause, and then a press on that again. If I do a long hold again, it will unpause it. So pretty simple setup, and then you don't have any confirmations or anything. If I power it off, it'll automatically be saved. So pretty simple, lets you just jump on the bike and start recording. Now let's take a look at the CatEye app. Within the CatEye app, you can actually do some basic configurations. The AirGPS doesn't actually support any options such as units or even time adjustments on the device itself, which is kind of a good and bad thing. The nice thing is you don't have to have confusing config screens like you normally do with this grid layout, as you can't really overlay any text. So it allows to really be limited to icons. So instead of that, they've really put everything on the app. You can see the app is very basic. It's just a grid display with grays and black, not really nice UI. But it is easy to use. You can see a trip computer view. So you can use this as a basic view with different metrics shown. You can look at all your activities that you've uploaded here, so you can sync them directly to here. You can view it as a list, graph, or calendar. You can upload, and then you can do basic settings like units and presets. So very simple. There's no social aspect to this app, which is nice. A lot of them try to make this like a Facebook where you can share and give kudos and stuff like that. Otherwise, instead of that, they've kept it very basic. As far as the device customization, if you sync up to this, now you can see basic options. You can do display customization. You're limited to really only changing a couple things. So the middle blue area, you can show clock, distance, or moving time. And then on the lower one, which you just toggle through with a single button click, you can disable certain fields, which is useful. So if you don't care about the maximum or average, you can turn that off, and then you don't have to cycle through so many options. Otherwise, very simple. You can connect sensors here, and you have to do the sensor connection here. So if it's detecting the heart rate and cadence, it will show them here. So it's a little bit weird that you can't do it on the device, but you do it once on the app and you're ready to go. So very simple. And with this, you can set up the configuration and then just use the computer right after. Once you have the computer set up, you can see it's really easy to use. You just power it on, it'll flash ready. You press anywhere on the bottom half, and then it'll automatically start the recording. So pretty simple, and you just have to cycle through the bottom information using that ClickTec design. So pressing anywhere on the bottom half of the screen will cycle through those options. It is a very simple computer. You can see you have a nice grid display. The font size are nice and large, and the icons are pretty well done, so it's easy to see what you have. You can see we have a cadence sensor, which is why it showed the cadence. If you don't have it, it won't show it. And if you don't have the heart rate, it also won't show it. So pretty slick. If it has it, it shows it. And if it doesn't, you don't have to deal with it. So you don't end up with empty spots. You have pace indicators on the top left too, which helps you determine if you're going faster and slower. And the time display is nice and large. So overall, really easy to use. The screen is nice and bright. And it is a very logical layout. You really only have to press that front button, and whenever you're done riding, you can hold the rear power button and automatically save it. There's no prompts or any complication there, so that's the nice thing about this. It would have been nice to see some altitude charts or gradient that you see with higher end GPS computers, but for this price point, I think AirGPS is a pretty nice option. It's very simple, easy to set up, and with the app-centric approach, you don't have the confusing configuration screens. So overall, we found it pretty impressive. If you're a more higher-end cyclist or you're trying to do longer rides, I'd highly recommend going to a graphical GPS with the maps and navigational elements, which is really nice. So if you're exploring somewhere new, it's nice to have. But with this one, it's great if you're commuting or you're doing more local rides and you know the area. Then you have all the basic displays with the average, max speed, and all the basic metrics you'd ever need. So pretty nice overall. And you can see here on the CatEye mount too, it works really well. So If you get this out front mount, you can mount the light underneath it. So it works well with other CatEye products. We actually have done quite a few GPS reviews. So you can see here we have the iGPSPORT BSC models, the Velo 2, and then some Bryton computers. iGPSPORT is probably the better comparison here. They're affordable, simple displays. And you can see with this one, you actually have a multi-field display when you start recording. So more customizable here than the CatEye, but a little bit more expensive. With this one, you actually get 8 fields versus just the 3 rows, and then the dual layout. The nice thing about the CatEye though, it's very small and very simple to configure as you just jump on the app. The other computers do offer more features. You have the notifications, and then other features like a breadcrumb display. So with this one, it actually has a breadcrumb map, while the other iGPSPORT actually has a full-on map, which is really cool. So you can actually see your full location and a color display versus this simple black and white. If you want to use an app more, we have the Velo 2. It is really cool. So this actually has a very simple display and just shows you a direction and speed. You don't get more of the sensor information like you get on the CatEye, but has a cool form factor, and then it really relies on your cell phone. Bryton also has a ton of options. They have their 15 Neo, which is probably a better comparison to this, but we have the S500, which is a more sporty color touchscreen variation. So you can see really nice, you can just swipe through things. They have the S800, which is even bigger, and what's nice about a big display is you can see the font size are nice and large. You have a black background instead of the black on white. So great visibility, and then again, you have these rotational displays, so graph displays, bar graphs, which is really nice, but obviously quite a bit more expensive. And they even have their Bryton 750, which is a little bit more affordable, but shares the same color touchscreen. So nice thing about the CatEye is a good in-between if you're looking for basic data metrics without a lot of configuration or setup. It's definitely a nice option at this price point. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the CatEye AirGPS. What I like about it is it has a clever ClickTec design, which means you can press anywhere on the bottom half of the screen to activate that rear button, so it makes it really easy to press. You also have a simple, intuitive user interface, so you just have the rear button to turn it on and off, and then that front button to cycle through the different options. It also has a easy to read 3-row layout with that blue highlighting on the center to really split it up. The main negatives with the GPS is the fact that it has a dated micro USB charging port. It would have been really nice to have USB Type-C. And also it lacks gradient and altitude display, which is really nice, especially when you're climbing and you want to see what kind of altitude you're covering or the gradient of the road, which is something common on GPS cycling computers. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.